does. He does.
Prediction? Yes, prediction.
Pain. Are you ready? I think I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dude is so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. Because sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because if he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that. I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, see being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go. Way pop, way pop, way pop, way pop, way pop.
I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it.
Good timing.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
¡Uepa! Buenas y bienvenidos nuevamente directly from MZ Studio, Dallas, Texas. This is EnVivo Podcast, LongLiveBoxing con Manny Marrero.
Saunders Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper. Breaking it down like it is. Like it should be, like you
Como
fans
debe de ser.
deserve it.
Oh, man. Sticking that jab in your mouth.
Completely. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Cochino.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for the like, for the share. If you're tuning in right
comments,
now,
agree,
if
disagree,
you're sleeping, if you're popping up your favorite podcast platform, anywhere, you can hear podcasts, you can just type in LongLiveBoxing and have a good time with these three locos amigos. We think we know what we're saying, but we actually don't. But hey, we are still surviving episode 83.
It's crazy.
Lots of boxing going on, and one of the big ones that will be here locally in Dallas, Texas. And I can feel my brother here just shaking and tweaking.
He's literally glowing.
Yeah.
He's got that afterglow before you
you're
go.
Glistening.
Hey!
I'm blushing.
Man, so let's get to it. Okay, so if you guys haven't noticed yet, Canelo is a topic that comes up on our show, but hey.
Really?
Does
I wonder why.
I'm not sure.
We didn't talk about him last show.
Out.
We didn't talk about him last.
Yeah, and it felt great.
Yeah.
No, we did. I threw his name out there a bunch of times.
Damn it!
Times. Yeah.
Okay. As a comparison or as a...
I always throw his name out there every episode.
Did you accidentally call one of us Canelo or something?
I think so.
Yeah. Damn it.
Manny, I called him
Really?
Canelo.
Yeah.
Manny Alvarez.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in all seriousness, they've had a lot of fights that have come to Texas. We've been fortunate during this unfortunate period of time. And this is not only going to be a big fight, but it's going to be held with a big capacity.
That is right.
Right? So there's a lot of hate going into it. A lot of people questioning on the fact that they're going to hold the event, but not just hold it, but have a live audience. And they've had nothing but great success and fan interest. My brothers and I are definitely planning on being there 100%. In attendance. And we're excited about it. I mean, we're excited about any boxing event. And that's the thing. They have a lot of fights that come up and fight cards, but whether you like it, love it, hate it, want to debate it, Canelo is the man, and he's the show. And when the show's in town, you got to go watch it. So, my brother Hopper, how does it feel that not only is he coming to town to fight on, the big stage in Jerry World, but it's going to be your birthday? How'd you make that happen, sir?
It's going to be my birthday. Well, by the time he wins, it'll be my birthday. It's May 9th. So I'll be celebrating.
Good timing.
I'll be celebrating, hopefully, a unified Mexican champ with 3 of the belts, because 3 of them will be on the line. You have the WBA Super, the WBC,
Ring Magazine,
plus it's the WBO and the Ring Magazine. So 3 of the 4 major super middleweight belts happening May 8th here at Cowboy Stadium. I can't wait. Are you guys going to be there? I'm going to be there.
No, I mean, that's definitely the plan.
We already bought our tickets.
That is the plan.
The first day of pre-sale tickets, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 20,000 tickets were sold.
Right.
40,000.
And then 40,000 overall on the pre-sale.
Yeah. And they're still selling right now. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, it's a great opportunity. If you're local, you can if you're in Texas, outside Texas, you can drive. Or even around surrounding states, you can drive. This is going to be a huge event, and we're pretty excited about it.
One thing I was going to say to you guys, because, hey, I had that COVID monster, and it was a bear to deal with. There is still, obviously, that threat and that concern.
Absolutely.
Did that cross your mind? I mean, that's a lot of people.
It does, but we've all pretty much been vaccinated already. So
and that's the thing, though, that I got my first
get
shot.
your shot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know conspiracy theories.
Gringo
I mean,
got first shot. I don't believe
If someone ships me, they're really wasting their
they're
time.
already tracking you on your cell phone. So what the hell?
Exactly.
I mean, and it's not like I don't think you're that important enough for the government to track. So
they'd be like, man, that guy gets chicken wings a lot.
I know, right? He goes to the Chinese buffet
Gringo,
a lot.
nachos again? It's 3 in the morning.
Damn, bro. Street
You go to
tacos.
Waffle House now. But yeah, I mean, we all got our first shot. I got my my second shot on May. What is it? It's gonna be what? Almost a week before that, 30th of April. I'll be fine. I'll be good. I'm still gonna protect myself. Still gonna try to maintain some kind of distance, right? But overall, it's just the excitement and the experience being there.
Oh yeah.
As a boxing fan, as part of media as well that we are. I mean, this is a no-brainer, and I think we talked about this before. We, at least ourselves, because we got private lives and a lot of stuff to the side. But anyway, we lost a lot of great fights we missed here in the Metropolitan. So
Like we
we're
lost
not going
the
to
year 2020.
Yeah, and then the whole year that we lost in 2020, that was kind of brutal. But we are here. We got action. Billy Joe Saunders.
Billy Joe!
I mean, a lot of people criticize Billy Joe Saunders.
Is it the boxing
Which
stuff
I don't
or
understand.
outside the ring?
See, here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I want to touch on that because I don't understand that. The guy is an undefeated champion. 30-0. Southpaw. Elusive. And Canelo's going to have to beat an undefeated champion.
He's going to have the height, reach advantage.
He's going to have the height, the reach of it. He's 5'11", 71-inch reach. He's from the UK. He's elusive. He's a southpaw. He's got great footwork.
Well, I think it's more because his resume. When you look at his resume.
And then this is what I want to touch on. A lot of people, their hatred for Canelo, because people hate on Canelo so bad, they automatically want to trash whoever he fights. And if you take a look at some of the opponents that he's fought, I mean, he beat Andy Lee. Okay, that's not just anybody. Andy Lee is a very respected fighter. He beat David Lemieux, and he clowned David Lemieux actually.
End of his career.
This was early in 2013. He went on a streak where he fought 4 undefeated fighters: Matthew Hogg, Gary O'Sullivan, John Ryder, Emmanuel Blandemuro, and he topped it all off by defeating Chris Eubank Jr. For a title, European title. I don't care who you are. That's pretty damn impressive.
Well, do you think that may be part of it though? Is because a lot of his successes come overseas, and we're so skewed to give the pass as far as he's a UK fighter.
Yeah. I understand the stigma of that about the UK fighters, but nonetheless, I mean, to trash an undefeated champion just because you don't like Canelo, that's kind of bush league in my opinion. To just completely dismiss what this guy's done. 30-0.
So let me ask you, my brother.
People dismiss him like he's a champion, and just because I remember a few years ago they were saying he was running. Canelo was avoiding Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, and then he fights him. Oh, they're nothing. The narrative changes completely with Canelo. So it's amusing actually.
It's all about timing. I mean, I remember there was Canelo talk where Billy Joe Saunders was trying to get him back when he fought Willie Monroe. That was 2016. So his name is
2016.
So it's been coming up for a while as far as fighting him. But I think also too, I think that was more about
Canelo had bigger fish to fry at that time, I believe.
Yeah, and also what you said about the timing. I think Billy Joe was just trying to get a way to get that American audience because he was also calling out Triple G because Triple G had crossed over and he got the American audience. And, he just wanted to get his name out there. But, yeah, that's the thing. I think the combination, for me at least, perception is reality, that he fights majority of his fights in the UK. He's a UK fighter. There's that stigma.
One of the only fights he's fought was Willie Monroe Jr. against an American. So from then on.
Well, he fought Coceres at the
but that's
Center.
back. That's way back. Yeah. But recently.
No,
in the last 3 years, last 3-4 years.
2019. He fought at the Staples, Coceres. He fought in Canada with Lemieux.
Right.
But no, I understand. I understand the stigma about European fighters when they face American fighters or Mexican fighters.
Yeah.
it's a whole different, the whole different animal. So I understand that stigma, but nonetheless, man, I mean, Callum Smith was rated number 1. Canelo just walked right through him. Billy Joe Saunders is still an undefeated champion. I do expect Billy Joe to frustrate Canelo early on, until he gets a little taste of that power. And Callum Smith put it best. After the fight, he pretty much said that he says that Billy Joe, he's got movement, he's a southpaw, a bit awkward, he can probably stay out of trouble, but he doesn't know if he thinks he can keep Canelo off.
I don't think so either.
Power.
I don't think so either, because he didn't do it against Martin Murray last fight, and he had some trouble with him. And
well, he did. He dominated the fight, but he just couldn't
knock him out. And
Martin Murray,
and he doesn't have that kind of power. If he couldn't knock out Murray, I doubt with the ability and the strength of Canelo, I doubt that he'll be able to even keep him in the distance for a while. And you're just going to see a Canelo, I mean, just rapping all over the ring on top of him. I mean, not only that, I mean, the speed, and it is very funny because, that uppercut can come in, to the side, or it could just confuse you. And so the speed that he's got at this weight division.
And he's a southpaw.
Exactly.
He's a southpaw, so that liver is exposed.
Completely.
For southpaws, the liver is exposed.
And that's what he likes to throw.
The liver.
Yep.
And then, but Callum Smith did go on and continue. He did say, he will always back a Brit. But he doesn't think anybody beats Canelo because Canelo's hard to hit clean, and he doesn't know if Billy Joe has got enough to get his respect to put a dent on him. He went on to say that he sees Canelo finding a way, walks him down, starting to land as the fight goes on. He gave Canelo a lot of respect. He said he's very clever in terms of the jab. He walks you down. And with anybody else, you want a jab. But Callum says that because he wants you to jab and he's a counterpuncher, so you don't throw as many jabs. And while you're waiting, he closes the space down without throwing anything. Then he hits you. And you think, how did he land that? So, he's always keeping you guessing. You're hesitant to throw. His best asset is presence and defense. He was so hard to hit clean. So and then that's Callum Smith, he saying that he takes away everything that you're good at. So
I mean, I get what you're saying a lot in terms of Canelo having the biggest opportunity. I know that a lot of people also are hating the fact that why did he pay 168? And yeah, I get he said it's the best weight for him, feels comfortable, but I think the biggest challenge for him was more at the middleweight rather than the superweight. And so knowing that he is, he does a career whatever he wants. He lands anywhere he wants to land, and he wanted to stay at that 168. So do you feel that, it is a easy division for him to clean out? Although, yes, you have all these undefeated champions, right? Undefeated again, and I say that, and I'm concur with you, but these are not the guys that have been dominated the division. The division hasn't been dominated for anyone. None of these guys wanted to fight each other until Canelo kind of went down. So for me, it would be more interesting to Canelo go back, either give him a Triple G, get some gringo action there in hopes, or maybe fight some of the real fights.
Happy birthday, Triple G.
That the people want to see. And the thing about it is none of the fans wanted to see any of these fights. So do you feel that that's more like the hate, the fact that, hey, I'm going to pick my division. I'll call that cherry picking division. I'm going to pick wherever I want. I want to get here. I want to dominate. Can I dominate it? Absolutely. We all knew that. But why didn't go down to a different division that you still have a lot to prove with a lot tougher opponents?
And my counter to that is it really at 160 pounds you have Jermall Charlo? I mean, Jermall Charlo, people want to hype him up, but if you take a look at the people he's fought at 160 pounds, that's who you want him to fight, Jermall Charlo? And then that's WBC champion. WBA is Ryan Murata.
Well, it's okay. So,
Ryan Murata is better than Caleb Plant, Billy Joe,
the thing about
Callum Smith.
Yeah, I get it. But
he's already fought Triple G twice.
They want these
Boo Boo
guys.
Andrade?
Why not?
I don't know. I think Callum Smith, people see, because this is what I was going back to, what I just said. The narrative changes with Canelo. It really doesn't matter what Canelo does, because people are always going to hate. They're always going to flip the script. They're always going to. He was avoiding Callum Smith, went up and dominated him. Oh, Callum Smith's trash. He's going to fight Billy Joe Saunders, blah, 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 blah. So it doesn't really. Canelo's like pretty much in a no-win situation because it doesn't matter what he does. But that's just what the haters are saying, because as evidenced by the 40,000 people that bought his tickets in like 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
His fans appreciate him. His fans love him to death. And
now, do you think those are all fans, or do you think are there going to be Is UK gonna be?
Oh, they definitely be in the house.
Probably gonna be in
And
the
I
house.
can't
I
wait to
think so.
party with them because they're great people.
Oh,
The
yeah.
UK people, very polite, very cordial.
Singing.
Love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
very knowledgeable.
You know
And
they're boxing.
Soccer ranting,
oh yeah,
chanting,
and they're
whatever.
always singing that "Sweet Caroline."
pop, pop, pop.
Da, da, da. They're always singing that in every song, every fight that happens overseas. Sweet Caroline.
Yeah,
Ba, ba, ba.
you're gonna definitely gonna be hearing that. So it's gonna be a great atmosphere. I mean, I'm pretty excited, and I think it is a great opportunity. Kind of touching on that real quick, but I guess we get into predictions and what our thoughts are as far as how the fight could potentially play out. Now, you were saying from the standpoint of hate and disrespect, and people not truly appreciating what Canelo's doing, Hopper. But for you, this fight, do you feel based off the opponent coming before him, Billy Joe Saunders, is this one of his more challenging opponents?
Yes, it's gonna be tricky because Billy Joe Saunders is that type of fighter that people say that Canelo avoids. And I know Terrence Crawford came out and said something kind of. I'm not saying he's ignorant, but what he said when you attach race, when he said he's avoiding black fighters, I think if he would have said something like he's avoiding elusive fighters, slick fighters, that would have probably made a lot more sense.
Right.
And Terrence Crawford caught a lot of hate for what he said. I mean, a lot of hate. Even people that hate Canelo kind of like, hey, bro, you kind of crossed the line by putting race into it. This is the kind of fighter that people say that Canelo avoids. Elusive fighters.
Yeah.
Like Lara, the Trout, these slick fighters. This is Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah.
He's got great footwork, good defense, very slick,
Good jab.
good boxing skills, great, great
You gotta
jab.
get reach and distance.
And it'll be tricky early on because I actually have a feeling it's going to be kind of boring early on because Billy Joe Saunders, once he tastes that power, he's gonna go into hiding a little bit. He's gonna be running the ring. He's gonna be running the ring around. Canelo's gonna try to chase him, and us in attendance, we're gonna be booing, boo, because I can definitely see it that way where Billy Joe Saunders does not want to engage, and he has the footwork to work the ring.
Wow. Okay. That makes perfect sense. So it definitely seems like on one aspect, high regard for his boxing IQ as far as Billy Joe Saunders, his ability to be slick in the ring.
Great boxer.
The fact that he's going to not have that respect factor or that, game-changing defense, as far as power, he's not going to really be able to get the respect of Canelo and kind of be playing hide and peekaboo, hide and seek.
Yeah, definitely, because, Billy Joe Saunders has 14 stoppages and 30 victories, and not a single stoppage against a true world level opponent. To say that he's gonna KO the Granite Chin Canelo or even hurt him, I don't know. It's kind of absurd to me. I can't see it, but it's boxing. Crazier things have happened. You never know. Canelo could freaking get hurt or get a cut or. I don't know. It's just, but it's unlikely, but it's definitely a possibility. So, speaking of Billy Joe Saunders, what do you think about Billy Joe?
The person?
I like Billy Joe Saunders. He's a
he is a douche.
He is. But when it comes to like attracting people and making things exciting in the ring, for the UK people and everything he's done, previously it's been entertaining. I remember like today fight he had against Marcelo Esteban. He did dominate in that fight, but when you think about it, when you get frustrated and not able to land that jab and being able to still maintain that distance, and not being able to really capitalize with a lesser opponent that I thought he would, bid quickly, but he ended up knocking, Marcelo in the 11th round. Yeah. But anyway, I think he's going to have a lot of problems with it. He's going to have to use that double jab. Sometimes it gets a little funny as he's trying to come in,
Very funny.
approaching to someone. And I think Canelo right now, he's just a stronger opponent. I don't think that people will be booing
No?
that date. I disagree with that, and the reason why is Canelo wants to show action, and he's ready for that.
Hunt him down.
You know, and he's the type of guy, he doesn't have to prove anyone, but he'll be wanting to prove people wrong.
His fans.
And then he's going to get into that action. He's going to make an amazing entrance. I can't wait. Hopefully Dave Alvin comes in. I'm going to make Billy Joe Sander wait, 30 more minutes like Paul Children out there. And those of you fans that still ask and don't understand why he had to fight Yildirim, the mandatory. Listen, he didn't want to give away the title. His purpose is to unify. And I'll have to do whatever I need to do to keep that belt. So what do I need to do?
Fight this guy.
I need to fight these guys.
And he didn't pick him.
And not at all.
WBC
picked him. He did what he had to do. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And so he did that to continue to entertain the fans, continue to have more fights. He parted ways for quite some time because of the pandemic, and now he's back into action.
Now he's
fighting twice this year.
So
frequently.
Already twice, right? In May, February, May. In December, February, May. I remember Caleb Plant said he couldn't. It was too short notice. He fought in February, and they wanted him to fight in May. He said, "No, it's too short notice." Canelo fought December, February.
Well, yeah, I mean, regardless of what you think about that fight he had in Miami, he's on track to fight 4 times this year.
Yeah,
4 times in a year span.
Yeah, in a calendar year, and that has to be acknowledged and definitely,
that's what you want, right? That's what you want.
Absolutely.
Look at the PBC; them guys fight once a year. Mr. Gary Russell Jr. once every.
Here's something I'll say. Let's say that you do hate Canelo, but you always want the fighter that's going to bring the most attention to your sport on a positive level.
You do.
He's gonna. We could say what you want, but Canelo is a wrecking ball, irregardless of what you think about him, his resume, his camp, whatever. He's gonna always bring it. He's gonna bring his A game, and people are gonna watch.
He's the only very few I'm gonna say he's like the only boxer that ESPN will show on their Facebook feed, on their social media feed. Oh, Canelo wins because he brings the attention.
He's a star.
ESPN does, Bleacher Report, all these social media. When Canelo fights and he wins, they show it on their Facebook feed because it gets the attention. Boxing fans, that's what you want. You want somebody like this that bringing in the fans, more eyeballs for the sport, because more eyeballs for the sport means a better opportunity for bigger fights to get made.
Yeah, and I think there's nothing wrong with having I'll go ahead and say it. Like during the run of Mayweather, I'm not comparing them as far as, fighters or anything like that. But I'm comparing as far as like the draw. Do you really think everybody was watching Mayweather wanting him to win? People were hoping to see him lose.
He caught a lot of hate, and Mayweather was great. It was the Mayweather era, and now it's the Canelo.
Well, I think Mayweather, Canelo was still immature.
Mayweather Pacquiao era.
Yeah.
So I think that instead of just, oh man, why isn't he fighting this guy? Be glad the fact that he's fighting.
He's fighting champions.
Yeah, he's fighting.
He's fighting champions,
and he's not taking years off.
He's not taking years off.
Yeah, he's fighting. The next man up. And I honestly think this is going to be a great moment for the sport.
It's giving us that opportunity. So if you're a boxing fan and you are actually hating, I don't know what you're thinking right now, because you're still hating the fact that you're not seeing some of these other fights be made. We talk about the 135s. We talk about 147s as well. The only division that we did see it coming, and by the way, don't miss our next episode.
The real Four Kings.
The Four Kings, but don't miss that other episode we're going to be talking about is Taylor against Ramirez. It's another division. That's why I like tournaments, and we'll touch base later on that. But you got fights that are being made, and at least some of the divisions you're not, but at least you're getting some of these top, middleweights, super middleweights, right? Some of those great divisions that really push the sports to a next level, and we got to be pretty excited that we have a Canelo. I'm not a huge diehard core fan with Canelo like you are. I have my mixed emotions here, there, right? And it's my perspective, right? And we get it, but the reality is, for me, for the good of the sport, I need Canelo.
You need him to do good.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people, and I don't want to go back to sports, but it's like a lot of people, Jordan and LeBron. There's so much hate between the fans with those guys. Listen, Jordan was a great era. I'm a Jordan fan. I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but I'm enjoying the era that is bringing new stuff into the sport, and this is what's happening in boxing. And if you're complaining that you're not getting fights in boxing, you're still getting them, and you're still complaining.
You are getting them.
I don't know.
You're never going to be satisfied.
I don't know.
And I've said it before on similar, topics of Canelo on a podcast, and I stand by it. Let's say right now, let's say the next fight that they announce, after the Saunders fight would be the fight. I guess the boogeyman fight. They said the one that would be the most challenging for would be
Caleb Plant.
I think
Benavidez. Let's say they announced Benavidez, right? Let's say they honestly. Listen, your heart of hearts. Look me in the eyes. Do you really think David Benavidez can beat Canelo? Or let's take it a step further.
Did you see his last fight with Ronald Ellis?
Yeah. Do you think he'd be favored against Canelo? No, he wouldn't. Right. But I think, is he a talent? Absolutely. Is he a young guy on the rise? Absolutely. All those things are true. But, he's not. Canelo's not avoiding him.
No.
But if they were to fight, and let's say eventually that they do, I don't really see them as a threat as people think. And then again, let's take it to the other name we hear. Charlo, right?
Jamal.
Yeah. Canelo would beat, Charlo. Is there a possibility? Absolutely. And I think that would be an intriguing matchup, and I would love to see it. But I don't see it the way.
They've already turned the fight down.
I don't see it the way some people are just kind of calling it out there.
I just want to see it. I'd like to see some of those things for the hype of top big guys. Media attention. Media attention is what I'm talking about. Bringing them together, whether one has much better skill than the other one. Absolutely. I mean, we want to see that happen. I want to see them unify, and then I want to see Canelo kind of unify and come down. Honestly, I was having a conversation the other day about, okay, so he needs to fight Caleb Plant. What do you think about that fight, Manny? Well, guess what? Billy Joe Saunders can take Caleb Plant any given time. To be honest,
you think so?
I
don't know. I think that's
so.
a 50-50 fight.
I think Caleb.
Both guys are very slick, good boxers.
I think Billy Joe has a slight edge when it comes to the power and when it comes to being smarter in the ring. He gets careless at time, but let me tell you something.
I don't know.
And he's got a better resume than Caleb Plant. But the reality is
that's true.
we're gonna see those fights.
Yeah,
and the problem is that later
a tough
on,
one right there, right? You brought Caleb Plant versus Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I think I'd edge. I think I'd lean Caleb.
Plant's the better boxer.
He's
resume, no.
Resume for sure. Billy Joe has the best.
But I'm just going off. But eyeball test.
I think I'd lean Caleb, but slightly. It's maybe 51-49.
Really?
Slightly.
I have it higher. I have it 60-40. I love that 60-40.
For Billy Joe?
60-40. I love that 60-40, right? 60-40 is good.
Billy
That's
Joe,
fair.
60?
Yeah, I take it Billy Joe. I do. Experience and the fact that he's fought better opponents.
Yeah, he has. He's fat.
And for
Caleb did fight
reason,
Uzcategari.
Yeah. But for that reason, I do. But anyway, the thing about it is be prepared. Be prepared because that fight most likely is going to happen if Canelo beats Billy Joe Saunders.
Oh, it's definitely happening.
Yeah, that was happening.
That's going to happen.
PBC
and people are going to say, here we go again. Why are you going to
cherry picking champions?
Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy. That's crazy how only with Canelo is a new term invented. Cherry picking champions. That is insane.
But you know what's different now?
How do you cherry pick a
but
champion?
You know what different?
Undefeated.
You know what's different now?
Cherry picking undefeated champions. It boggles the mind.
Well, it's
How do you cherry pick an undefeated champion? Like you got to be a bad mother to
no. I'll stay with a step further. Like a lot of people are pointing out, and this would be another fight where Canelo's fighting somebody. I believe this will be the ninth fight where he fought somebody that's going to be older than him. But let's take it to the other side. Talking about glass half full. This is also the 10th fight where the people have a physical advantage.
Right.
He's 5'8".
He's 5'8" fighting these. Do you see how big
6'1".
Callum Smith was against this guy? I told everybody, I'll go wait till you see a picture of these guys standing next to each other.
Yeah, when we talked, remember?
And sure enough, when that, we talked about it. I brought it up. I said, when you see these guys standing next to each other, and sure enough, at their first photo shoot, Canelo's looking up at him.
Yeah.
And my friends are asking me, he's fighting him. That dude is huge.
Billy Joe's 5'11". Caleb Plant's 6'1".
So you have to call that out as well. And, you can't deny, you can't teach size. So these guys are going to have a height advantage,
reach advantage.
And
how many times have we said that? Like I said, the last 10 fights, you guys can look it up on Boxing Rec. Those guys have had the physical advantages because Canelo is moving up to take those challenges. I'm not saying for you guys to, call him the greatest or anything like that. But you have to call it fair. Call it like it is. I do appreciate the fact that he's taking the challenges. He's taking on these undefeated fighters. And if this is what cherry picking is, I wish more people.
Right?
This is crazy, right? If he's cherry picking, what do you think everybody else is doing?
Well, maybe they're probably green beans eating.
They alluded to, people always bring up Jamal Charlo. Well, there's a guy that Jamal and Boo Boo There's a guy that they avoided for years. They never wanted any part of him. Daniel Jacobs. I remember at a fight at backstage, Jamal Charlo was there all loud, and then Daniel Jacobs saw him, and he approached him. Jamal turned into a little kid, and he didn't want nothing to do with Daniel Jacobs, and they still don't. But somebody fought Daniel Jacobs. Oh, yeah, Canelo fought Daniel Jacobs, and he beat him convincingly, and Daniel Jacobs landed some really good shots.
Yeah.
So, so stop it with that. He's avoiding Jamal, please. That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, some people call it cherry picking. Some people call
crazy.
it green bean eating or something like that.
Speaking of beans, there's before we get to our predictions, Billy Joe Saunders, Spider. There's a clip there that's Billy Joe Saunders. I guess he was frustrated about people. He hears everything that we say. You know, his ears are.
He's a big fan of the show.
Rabbit ears. He's a big fan of the show. He listens to us all the time. He's tired.
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe. Shout out to you, Billy Joe. He's tired of us telling him that he's gonna lose, and he had something to say about that. Spider.
I handle trolls. I just imagine their sad, pathetic life. Do you know what I mean? Sitting down, scratching their head, eating a can of beans in front of a TV, watching a football match and talking about people. That people like that don't bother me. They can say what they want about me or you know, a lot of stuff go over my head. People, you know, the names you get called and, you know, you're going to get led in the body bag when you're this and that. They're at home, just scratching their head, looking at the TV, that bored, they don't know what else to do. I'm out making a living, providing for the family, providing for loved ones, and doing the best I can, keep my body in shape and fit.
Now, he did say a lot of people, you know, eating beans. Some good beans. Pretty good beans, right?
Where are they from?
Yeah, refried beans. Right? Yeah, homemade. My wife made them.
JS brand?
My wife made Billy Joe Saunders beans. Hey, Billy. Some good beans, brother. I mean, I don't know what you got against people that eat beans.
This is good beans. It's not cherry picking. It's just.
And this show is actually brought to you by Beanie Weenie. So
beans. So.
Yeah, that's funny that you shouted out our sponsor. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, I mean, before we get to our predictions,
well, I'm gonna get me my drink here filled up. Green beans with some.
Hold on, let me take another bite
some
of
these
beans.
LaCroix thing.
Oh man!
Wow!
Shout out to you, Billy Joe. Great idea.
Why is it this show always turns on me to food or something like that? Damn, these beans are good. Brought to you by Billy Joe Saunders.
Gringo's favorite part
Thank
ever.
you for bringing that.
He's
bro.
gonna want us to bring beans every show. Now.
I love you, Billy Joe.
Maybe he was thinking taco.
Oh,
Canelo,
maybe, yeah.
taco.
Yeah,
how can I really eat that taco? Maybe I need to add beans. There you go.
But I want to make
with beans.
I want to make my prediction while I'm eating beans.
Really,
Billy Joe?
Do you need to go through your prediction?
I'm thinking.
I mean, I'm predicting already what you're going to predict.
I'm thinking. I don't think Canelo's going to knock him out. I don't think he's going to knock him out because Billy Joe's going to be on his bike, but he will get the unanimous decision. Canelo
really
will be unified, not completely unified, undisputed champion, but he'll be one step closer.
Almost
on my birthday.
Almost there.
On my birthday. Holla at your boy if you see me at the fights. Birthday beer. Much appreciated. So Billy Joe, eat my beans. Yeah, I think Canelo's gonna take you, brother.
Canelo. Predictions from the Hopper, a gran mexicano.
That means beans are good,
amigo. Sean,
shout out to you, Adriana.
What do you?
Adriana.
I'll go.
Is good stuff, bro. Where are the chips?
I'll go ahead and say that I'm not a fan of Billy Joe Saunders as far as outside the ring. I mean, you know, he said some off the wall things, but I think that he's actually doing a good job of keeping his name relevant from the standpoint, you know, the American audience. You know, speaking from the gringos in the world, that he definitely knows how to capture an audience from that standpoint. I mean, when the fight was announced, he came out slonged out with his apron on, looking crazy in the UK.
That was hilarious.
Ding dong dinner.
Yes, it was. Was he grilling right outside?
Yeah, he was
doing
grilling
something. He was naked, and he had the apron was
Yeah.
the naked person.
Yeah, the apron had a
with the schlong.
Schlong. So you can't go schlong. So anyway,
you can't go schlong.
You can't go schlong.
But seriously, he is a slick boxer. He does have the physical advantages, but we've had that conversation before. Like we said, you know, Canelo has faced taller fighters. He's really kind of used to it. The reach advantage is not going to be a problem. I do really think that Billy Joe Saunders is a slick fighter. I do think he'll be on his bike a bit, not as much as, you know, my brother Hopper thinks. I think there'll be some engagement, some excitement, but I think there'll be, you know, towards the middle rounds, you'll see the shift. So like around the 8th, 9th round, he may even hurt Billy Joe, and then at that point, I think then he'll get on his bike, like towards the end, and maybe Billy Joe Saunders, because he is so slick, that I could see him winning 2-3 rounds, but I do see a unanimous decision for Canelo, and kind of coasting to a nice victory. And I think that there'll be some exciting moments from the standpoint of seeing Canelo do what he does and be a ball of destruction. But I am excited to see how Billy Joe Saunders does fight, because despite the miscue by Terrence Crawford, I do agree that the perception is reality. That I do think that people feel that way, and I'll say that myself as well, that Canelo doesn't necessarily respond well against slicker fighters, the slicker, more polished fighters that like to box in and out. So, I do want to see how he responds. I like to see the diversity of the guy who's going to, have the eyes on him. What is Canelo going to bring? But, with all that being said, Canelo by UD, easy work, easy money for.
Wow. I'm shocked.
The cash cow.
I'm shocked with you guys.
What about you? You think he's gonna knock him out? Why you eat
Hold
your
on a
beans?
second. Let me eat some of that. Yeah, this is good stuff, bro. I'm glad we're talking about Billy Joe.
Billy Joe, great idea.
You brought
Billy
them
Joe.
beans out here. To be honest,
trolling.
Hey, listen, guys. Honestly, when Billy Joe was in the middleweight, capture a world title, move up to fight David Lemieux and moved up in weight, and then he fought Shefat Isufi for the super middleweight title. He won back in 2019. By the way, I was in Puerto Rico that weekend.
Hey!
So got a couple of friends to watch it with him. He's like, who's this dude? It's like, he's from England. And, well, it was great. It was great because a new era had born in the super middleweights when we thought it was like all dying and all going away. I like his talent. He is slick, as you guys have talked about. Does a great job doing the jab. Having said that, he relies on that overhand right hand at times and also that uppercut. And the problem is that it's going to be very difficult for him, his style, to really feed himself from landing great punches against Canelo so he can throw those combinations that he's accustomed to do that. All I'm going to see is those punches are going to be blocked by Canelo at most times. He's probably going to get a couple of jabs here there. It's going to happen. Canelo he doesn't move a lot, but he's got a great defense. And by the way, when you get that overhand right out there and he takes that uppercut and bring it in, whether it's to the body or peekaboo, I see you, now it's in your chin, or now it's in your head. That's where, he's going to start backing up. And I honestly think, to be honest, we're going to get a show. And the show, it's going to end on the 7th round.
Ooh,
Canelo knockout
I like that.
on the 7th round. It's just superior, guys. Like I said, I'm not trying to praise Canelo now. I'm not jumping in the bandwagon. I love Canelo. I love what he brings to the sport. But right now, honestly, I do agree that there's nobody at this particular time that can beat Canelo in any division, whether he goes down to the welter, which he never will go, middleweight,
135.
Super middleweight.
Die on the scale.
Die on the scale.
And you know what?
Fans still complain, though.
And you know what?
Yep.
And it's going to be great to have a unified champ. And I just hope that we can get to see that undisputed level, which in fact it's a great thing to see it in the division. It's not monopoly, it's not domination, it's the reality, natural talent, being able to fight 4 different guys undefeated and capture a world title.
Undisputed.
Guys, listen, how can can you get it? I mean, if you can't get it, just take some beans.
And this is coming from
you gotta get some beans
from a Puerto Rican. You know how to hate Mexicans.
And I don't. Bobby, check it out. It's gonna be a great fight. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders.
We will be there.
Yes, indeed.
If you see us, holla at your boys.
Yep.
Yeah, man, for real.
We might even tailgate.
Hey.
No, that really is the plan. So, we'll definitely put some information out there if that is able to happen.
Closer. No, it should happen.
Yeah, we really want that to happen.
I'll be flipping tacos.
Oh, man. I'm fired up, man. So, yeah, hopefully we'll make that happen. If we do, we'll definitely let you guys know.
Info.
Put that out there, because we love, like we've been saying, we want to hear from you guys. We want to get the feedback, in social media. Go to our website, LongLiveBoxing.com, /
Hey, a like or a share doesn't hurt.
Podcast.
It doesn't hurt.
Pull up all of our podcasts.
It just helps
up
our
there.
content.
And and on YouTube, you can see our full-length videos and also on our clips in Instagram. We appreciate the support. We're reaching the 1,000 follower, mark. We definitely appreciate the support. The support of all the local gyms, Texas Boxing Select Boxing Club, Coach Christine, Hector Vasquez, and the team from Sweat. So yeah, just everybody out there, appreciate the support, and long live boxing.
EnVivo.
Ay,
Hasta luego. Adios.
Eat some more beans.
Beans.